So you have this great attendance today.
I know.
You must have
awesome.
done a heck of a job promoting this broker open, right? Because we don't usually get this many folks at broker open,
No,
right?
I'm lucky to have one.
Yeah. Well, there might be another reason
Uh-oh.
why some people are here today.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. And it's because we wanted to do something with you today, all generated by the fact that you won't be with us on Tuesday. So we thought we would take this time here today to let you know that you are this year's Founder Circle
Oh, you're
Award
kidding.
winner.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
And
Oh,
thank you,
oh my
Jen.
gosh.
And we had all
Thank
this set
you.
up until, of course, your doctors messed up, the schedule
Yeah.
and the surgery and the
Just
whole thing.
Don't revisit that.
Yes, yes. So we knew you were going to be otherwise distracted on Tuesday doing
Yes.
what you need to be
Yeah,
doing.
I'll be sound asleep.
So yes, good for you.
We hope.
Good for you. So
Don't take your blood pressure medicine.
No, I'm not only not taking it for 24 hours, I'm not taking it for 48. They're not going to get me this time.
so for those of you who are newer to the company, every year, in addition to the production awards that we do, that's right. So we have two circle winners, and Scott was last year's winner. So
Thank you. Thank you.
so Scott would have been on stage presenting this to you on Tuesday morning.
Do it again?
So,
You're doing great.
Oh,
but for those of you who haven't been around, in addition to all the great awards for production and all kinds of things like that, we also want to recognize somebody who's given to the company in all kinds of different ways, and over a time period. We know we're not just house selling machines, although some days it feels like that, but it's so much more about all these other connections and coming together and really doing some of those things. And Pam has really been an example of that over the years.
thank you.
So if it's, I was thinking, and Quinn and I were going through the list, Pam, of all the things, all the connections and all the things that you've done and all the ways that you've contributed, and it's really, a plethora, if I can use that big word, because it really, it comes in a number of different ways, right? For one thing, you've been a great example of somebody who's contributed to our industry, right? We think that that's important, right? This thing doesn't run itself. So we have an incredible privilege to work in an industry that allows us to, get our hands in there and shape it and direct it and make it do things. But it takes people to want to do that. It takes people to volunteer, to know what they're doing, learn the way, because it's not so obvious. So Pam, if you guys don't know, Pam has been involved in the South End Board of Realtors for very, very many years. You've done probably every job. You were,
not every.
well, almost. But you were on the board, of course. You were board president, right?
Twice.
Yeah, I was going to say at least once. Yeah, twice. Realtor of the Year, I think in 2007, I think it was, 6, okay. And you get to be Realtor of the Year because that's your fellow realtors recognizing you, right? So it's not your customers, which they recognize you in other ways, but this is your peers, the folks you work with. So you've been involved in that. You've been involved in the education efforts of the board quite a bit, in that committee. Pam's also been very involved with professional standards, right, at the state level. Yeah, she says that with joy. Oh, yes, right. Well, somebody has to be the cop,
but it's
right?
fascinating.
It is. It really is.
It really is.
And we learn so much about how the industry works and how it can work better. And you've been there for all that. It means you have to be trained and you have to stay up to date with things and you have to come together with other folks and make decisions about people's.
You have to eat, sleep, and drink license law.
Yeah, exactly. So that's super useful. You've also been involved in WCR forever.
Close.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Indiana, I think, only has, is it 2 or 3 chapters?
3.
Yeah. And South Bend has one of them. So, and that is in no small part to all the work you've done to keep that thing up and running. And some years are a little harder than others.
By our fingernails.
I know. But that's an amazing organization. And again, just one of the other opportunities that you've given back to the industry. You give back to the community in a whole bunch of other ways, Pam, as well. You've been a chamber ambassador for
15 years.
There you go. See, I didn't think it was going to be that long, but 15
That's
years.
a long time.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, the Chamber of Commerce has a group of professionals that represent different industries. And they are this liaison between those industries and the community and the chamber itself. And you're there encouraging people at events and hosting and welcoming and doing all those connections.
Well, and Cressy and Everett's one of the longest members
Absolutely.
of the Chamber of Commerce, and because Cressy's a member, we're all members. And we
right.
can go to any event for no charge.
Yep, and Pam reminds us all the time, not that we listen
No.
necessarily, but she's always reminding us and encouraging us. And that's a wonderful thing because, it is so important to have that connection, right? Realtors often get the label of ambassadors, right? Sometimes we really don't act that way, but you certainly do, and you certainly have. Some of you guys also know that Pam's been connected with some other groups. Cultivate is, for example, one of her favorite charities.
Very much.
Cultivate, if you're not familiar with it, shame on you, number one. But number two, they do great work, repurposing food and sourcing food and getting it to the folks that really need it. I know the program that they do with kids with the backpacks. It's just amazing, because we know that kids struggle. I mean, we have hunger in our communities, and if you're hungry, you're not going to be a good student in school. So we know that we got to get those things right for everything else to work. And Cultivate does a great job, and you've been a great proponent. And you like food. That's right. That's right. Pam, probably the last thing I want to mention is that, again, I talked about your educational roles with the board, but you've played such an important role in education within our company.
Oh, okay.
How many of you had pre-licensing with Pam? Okay, look at all this. Yeah. So maybe you blame her, maybe you thank her for your career choices. But Pam,
I go back to when we transitioned.
Yeah,
I went
that's
to
right.
beer school.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Beer school's not as much fun as it sounds, by the way.
No, it's not.
But Pam, and for a while there with Elaine, your co-conspirator ran our pre-licensing schools and were there many nights and encouraged and shaped up and scared and supported and did all the things you had to do to get students to engage and learn and
Some
pass.
interesting happenings that you well remember.
Oh, absolutely. There's been this eventful
JD
events.
could tell
Yes,
us all,
absolutely. There have been. It's those classes. You guys don't see it that way, but working with Pam over the years, they're a study in the demography and the sociology of that moment. The people that come, the people who think they want to be in the business, the people. It's just a real snapshot, and it changes every few years. And we had a couple that were kind of rough there for a while. But you don't stop there. You help develop all these folks and invite them and bring them into the industry. And then once they choose to join us, then you've been a huge part of that training and development side of things within the company. Running classes for us, but being a field trainer, being just a general mentor to folks in the office. We think that that's so important to have an environment in which we can comfortably come together and get to know each other, and every now and then kind of share our ignorance.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody's a little smarter than we are about something, and then they let us know, and now we're smarter together. And the whole process just keeps getting better that way. And you've been so instrumental in having that happen in the formal side as well as the casual side of it.
We all have to ask questions. Nobody knows it all.
And you do, that's right. And realtors don't get to have the 12 transactions or whatever you just outlined that you've done with the folks who own this home if you're not doing a lot of things right along the way. So that's a testament for you as well. So thank you, Pam.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for everything you've done for us over the years.
Photoshop, thank you. I wondered why some of you were hanging around so long. And not eating.
Not
what I
eating,
brought,
exactly.
please.
So, all right. So the Founders Circle, in deep appreciation for continuing a company's tradition of the highest and most enduring human values: fairness, highest integrity, professionalism, honor, and caring in every phase of your work. Presented by the sales associates and staff of Chris and Everett to Pam Proctor.
Thank you. Just spell my name right? Yeah.
Yes, we actually got it. Yes.